So welcome to our final review on Metroid Dread. We just finished the game in the other room. We're a little exhausted. We've been doing it for the last few days. It's been crazy. And I gave some initial thoughts on it and I said, you know what? I'm going to stop playing because I want Rob to come over. I want to share this with Rob because Rob is an old school Metroid guy. We both are. Rob is way more skilled in these style of games than I am. And I'm like, come on over. Let's play it. Let's have some fun. What do you think of Metroid Dread?
Wow.
Yeah?
Ow, my hands hurt. They really do. Okay, first of all, what can't you say about this game? It's so good.
Yeah.
It really is. First of all, if you are a fan of the Metroid series, the old school 2D Metroid series, this is through and through to its heart and soul.
It gives you
a next generation Metroid 2D style.
It is gigantic.
It is enormous.
It is enormous, and it's very difficult. It's a lot more difficult than a lot of past Metroid games.
Yeah, that's the polite way to say it. It is violently cruel. There is no. First of all, there's no difficulty setting. What you see is what you get. Is what you get.
Yeah.
Second of all, there is no easing you into boss fights. You walk in and they just basically kill you until you learn the pattern. There is no forgiveness.
Yes, absolutely. And that was kind of the fun, though. After a while, you'd be like, no.
It was.
After half an hour, one guy, you're like, oh, wait, I get it.
Yes.
And then you figure it out, and you're like, okay, no problem.
I felt during those boss fights like those old safe crackers in the old 80s movies, because you're sitting there, you're just listening, and you're waiting for that tumbler to click into place, and you see the first piece of pattern go, and you go, oh, okay, and then you get wasted by the second phase. You go, here we go, back to square one.
Yeah.
So then you get really good at the first phase, over and over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah, you will be doing, unless you have some sort of magic ability to psychically know these patterns, or you look them up ahead of time, you'll be doing the boss fights. So there'll be exploration, and then boss fight over and over and over and over and over. Until you
and that can be a little bit frustrating. And I'm thinking, for new players, I said in my first thoughts, it's going to be a very hard game. You're jumping into Metroid. Imagine this is your first Metroid game.
Oh my.
Yeah, there's no holding your hand, as you said. Throws you in, it's get on with it. Yeah. And we're going to beat you into submission.
Pretty much,
beat you into submission, and then you better learn. And you're like, wait a second, I just thought I was jumping into an easy Metroid game. Nope.
And being the guy that I am, I sit there and go, please, sir, can I have some more?
Yeah, because this guy plays Mega Man so much. Yeah. And it's so much. We've talked about it. We have our strengths and weaknesses with video games. Yeah, these style of games are Rob's strengths, that's for sure. So, yeah, there's that whole thing. It really harkens back to the old Metroids. You got your map. You got to fill it in. You got to explore everywhere. Get different abilities. Take it from one side to the next.
Now, one thing I'll say about the layout of this game, the guys who did it, and times, you are going to curse them and everything about them, because they'll put items and they're right there dangling on a little string, come get it, come get it, but you can't because you don't have the item yet, and then ding, 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 no.
I know, you'll run into a new area and you'll see all these things, you're like, I can't get all this.
Especially close to the beginning, it does it.
It does it a lot in the beginning.
You're like, I need those missiles, I need that energy, I need those.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, you're not getting them till later. You're going to have to come back.
Yeah.
Have a nice trip.
What do you think about the graphics? Because a lot of people are saying, wait, this is a $60 game. It's a bit of a meme online, right? comparing it to other games and stuff like that. You have to play this game to understand it, and you have to be a Metroid fan.
You do. You do. Because this is kind of the not final, but the end chapter of the Metroid series at present.
So far.
So far. It comes up, and so an understanding of the previous lore is very important.
Yeah, we're going to talk about spoilers at a certain point. We're going to kind of give our thumbs up of what we think about the entire game, and then say we're going to spoilers, and then we'll talk about the end stuff.
But the graphics, I thought the graphics were gorgeous. Now, I will say this.
Yes.
Where you are in the mechanical parts of the base, it feels a bit plain because there's not a lot of detail, but it's large machines. You can't put a whole ton of detail in them.
No.
Right?
But what we were talking about in the game, it starts off very much like that. It looks nice. Yeah. It's not blowing you away, but it's nice in the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's the later levels that are unbelievable. Yep. Like the aquarium stuff and all that.
The aquarium stuff and the jungly and the more nature-y side of it.
Yeah, it's almost like the artists were getting better as the game was going on. That's what I was saying to Rob. I'm like, why does every level, as it goes on, get better and better and better and all of that? So that's one thing about the game. If you start playing it, you're like, well, this looks pretty good. No, it gets incredible. And the boss encounters are unbelievable. And the way the game goes from 2D to 3D, is remarkable.
Yes,
and
it's gorgeous.
So you got to talk about the E.M.M.Is, because I went online, I was complaining about them. How were they for you? In the whole thing, they're not so as crazy as they are in the beginning. In the beginning, you think that's going to be the entire game.
Yeah,
it's not the entire game.
It's not, but at the same time,
yo, my God, they're like Terminators. They never stop. They're always tracking you, even if you make yourself go invisible.
There's rage,
yeah,
anger, flames, violence erupting from my face and head while I was dealing with those. Because there is technically a way that you can escape them if they catch you.
Yeah,
the timing on it is so hard because it's like a little quick time event.
Yeah,
thing. It's
like a little flash, and you either do it or you don't.
Yeah, it's
and all
brutal.
That. But then you find the loop usually within the level to get them in the end, and you just blast their faces to hell, and then boom, shoot them and destroy them and all that. That's very satisfying.
That is satisfying. And every boss fight in this, I will say this, I'm one of those guys that the more angry I get at a boss fight, the more elation I have when I finally beat it.
Yeah, it's true.
But it is, there are times in this game where you will want to rage quit and walk away. I will say this. Take a 5-minute breather, go get a cold drink, go get some fresh air, and then come back after you've cleared your head and calmed down. It is worth it. It is worth it to push through, but there will be times where you will be angry.
That's normal. I think that's part of this game system as well, all that. Because it's very satisfying when you get past a certain section. Oh my God, take that.
I am far from a novice gamer.
Yeah.
Some of these boss fights, like how quick your reflexes had to be to dodge and then duck and then do a little zip aside and then turn the ball and then out of the ball and you get missiles
and then reverse aside, and do it again. And then
use the grapple beam and pull something out of his hands.
Move into phase 3 of it and woo, everything goes out the window. We do something completely different.
So
it's pretty wild.
Hard.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And if you keep at it, you will learn the boss battles. Don't let them get you down.
Yeah.
We're going on about it because we had our ups and downs with the difficulty in the game, but we enjoyed it immensely. Let's talk about the music here. I want to say this is the biggest kind of thumbs down for me.
Same.
There's some nods to Super Metroid and past Metroid games. That's a little bit. That stuff I really liked. I was like, oh, I know that. That's cool. But overall, the music is atmospheric and it's spooky. The game is called Metroid Dread, so I just think it's trying to make you unhinged all the time. The music's unhinging, which it has been in past Metroid games, but it just was, I think, better. We've had better music in past Metroid games.
I agree. I agree 100%. I really didn't feel the music stood out.
Yeah.
It was the most in the background, non-remarkable part of this to me.
More atmosphere.
And I hate to say that because I love these games.
Yeah.
And as you're talking about the Dread, absolutely. If anyone's ever seen a movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall, the main guy is a composer for this TV show. And he starts complaining because it's a cop drama.
Yeah.
And basically everything is like these extended tones.
Yeah.
That's what this had.
Right.
It's like this constant in the background.
Yeah. Rather than some of the amazing music out of Super Metroid. That music, I still listen to.
Yeah. Brinstar. And you knew where you were by the music as much as by the graphics.
And you enjoyed exploring, listening to that music.
Yes.
This music, you're like, oh my God, it's the E.M.M.I music. You know that kind of birdie sound going on.
This is the other thing. Metroid players want to explore. You want to explore. If you're an old schooler like me, you reckon, okay, I'm just going to run around. I'm going to find everything first. Wrong.
Yeah.
You can't. They mess with you with this game by doing that.
Yeah.
You have to run away from the E.M.M.I. You have to keep running.
Yeah.
So you don't get this. You'll see something in the corner of your eye, but you'll be like, I don't got time. I'm about to get dead.
I got to get out.
So you got to run.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, to speak about the controls, how you can't use the D-pad. I remember that was what Rob was like, what, I can't use the D-pad. And I'm like, that was one thing that was kind of unusual.
That was the only other negative I have for this game. The two things. The music I didn't feel stood out as well as it should have. It was good, but it wasn't amazing. And the control that you can't... Come on, people. It's a 2D platformer. You got to be able to use a D-pad.
Well, we're old school, so we kind of want that and all that. The one thing that we always found funny was some of the load screens where Samus traveling from one section to another, like in an elevator, because we always thought, what is Samus thinking?
Why did I come to this hellhole? Gosh, this suit gets hot. Did I leave the kettle on?
We were always joking about what she was saying, did I leave the kettle on?
Oh my goodness.
It's way too fun. So, what else do you want to talk about? Just we're in the unspoiler zone here.
In the unspoiler zone, online they say the game is about an 8-hour game. If you were a hardcore gamer or if this is your second run through, sure. budget more, especially if you're an explorer and find everything kind
You
of
wanna
guy
get
like
more
me.
stuff, yeah.
It will take longer.
Yeah.
It will, but in that, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because, we kind of went a
kinda
little
raced
faster
it.
than we normally would.
Yeah,
because we wanted to get her done.
And for sure, and me and Rob have different things going on. I'm going away the end of the week, and you got things happening tonight.
Yeah.
With family, we need to get it all done, and we actually did that and all that. What do you think? How do you think this ranks? I'm not going to rank all the games, but how does it rank with all the Metroid games? What do you feel it is for you?
I feel it's Super Metroid is my favorite.
Me too.
This is very close to it.
It
It's
is.
not on par. It's
yeah.
very close.
Yeah.
I think because of lack of D-pad and because of the music not being quite there,
Yeah.
it's a little bit under Super Metroid because that was
and we'll say that's a nostalgic one. That's what's
Yes.
on the past with the nostalgia. We can't beat that.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. But the game is remarkable. I
good.
think it's really, really, really good. The boss encounters, the colors, and everything. The music substandard a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought it was a really, really good game and definitely worthy of the Metroid name. I mean,
Yes.
nobody's upset about that here. So I think it's a definite 8 to 8.5 out of 10.
I was about to say I think it's about an 8.5 to 9 for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because again, those little off, but
It's not
good.
quite a 10. I mean, a lot of people are giving it 10s, and I can kind of get it, but I can't go that way.
No, it's
no,
not
no.
quite there.
Okay, so now we're going to go into spoilers. So if you haven't finished the game, you haven't seen the ending and all that stuff, don't watch this part. This is for people who have finished the game or just who are curious.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk all about the story and what we think of it. What do you think about the story in this game?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was apprehensive walking into it because in the trailer you see shots of Chozo.
Yeah.
And so you know that they're going to have some actual aliens there where previously it really felt like they were almost like a dead or a dying race. Or they were very
A
rare.
mythos of the past type
Yeah,
of thing.
but they are right there.
Yeah.
So I was concerned. Have no fear. They handled this, I felt, very well.
They explain a little, but not too much. A lot's mysterious about it still.
See, the mysterious part for me of what gives it such a great and enjoyable story is that there's still stuff for you to try and noodle on your own or make your own headcanon about. But the story is excellent, and it definitely is a direct follow-up to Fusion.
Yeah.
So you start with that different suit. They explain. They do a nice recap at the beginning for those that haven't played it or haven't played it in a long time, like old people like me.
Yeah.
And they tell you what happened during the course of that game in Fusion, and they start you off. And the story takes up Samus following what appears to be another outbreak of X-parasites
I know.
on this planet, which apparently also has no Metroids, which seemed weird for a Metroid game. That comes in later. And lands, starts looking around,
Yep.
and then ends up running into
A super powerful Chozo.
Warrior.
Yeah, warrior, yeah.
And although he attacks her, he lets her live.
And you're like,
her-
why? Yeah.
And then her suit's a different color.
Yeah.
And you don't know why, and they don't explain that for quite a while. But then Samus gets to one of these computer save rooms that they have and talks to her computer on her ship.
Yeah.
That gives her instructions about, it's very dangerous. You're not powerful enough. The Emmys are here. You're not going to make it. It's very, very unlikely that you could ever do anything. And you're sitting there going, so you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, that's a joke. Every time we got to that terminal, you're like, so you're saying there's a chance.
Because it would come up and go, it's too powerful for you.
Yeah.
You cannot survive. You do not have adequate weapons. You will not be able to get out. So you're saying there's a chance.
You have no chance to survive. Make your time. Just saying there's a chance. For sure. Absolutely. So, yeah, you kind of start going through the game and all that, and you have little cutscenes here and there, and then you bump into an older Chozo that kind of fills in a little bit more of the story. And the story is that there's a bunch of different factions of Chozo, some good ones and some evil ones. And unfortunately, the evil ones want to spread the X virus throughout the universe.
Well, the Metroids.
Yeah.
They wanted to get the Metroids and replicate them. So the bad guy, who's called Ravenbeak, wanted to take the Metroids and use them to control the galaxy.
Yes, of course.
Whereas the other Chozo wanted them all trapped on their home planet so that it could be destroyed.
Because they knew the evil powers
Yes.
of these things and how they could be used and what this guy wants to use them for.
So, unfortunately, Samus, while they were having a civil war about this, went to the planet and cleaned it up. Killed
For
all.
them, they're like, hey, thanks so
Well,
much for
yeah,
that.
the peaceful Chozo were like, hey, Ravenbeak, less so.
And
Pissed off.
it's so funny when Samus is talking to the Chozo's just talking at her and she's just looking. And we were laughing. We were just waiting for her to say, after like 10 minutes of dialogue he's just given her, for her to say, I'm sorry, I don't understand Chozo. We were laughing about that, but we were like, okay, of course she understands that.
Sorry, I don't understand, Chozo.
We were laughing about that, but we were like, okay, of course she understands that.
But she does, and she speaks Chozo back, which
Yeah.
was actually one of the first times you hear Samus.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Which I thought was pretty wild. So it comes out that, now Samus has the last Metroid DNA in the galaxy in her body because of what happened in Super Metroid.
With the X's, yeah.
And then with the X parasites and everything else. So now Ravenbeak wants Samus to extract the DNA and repopulate the galaxy with Metroids.
Yes.
So now you have to fight to get away and not let that happen.
Yes, and quite literally, you are a Metroid.
Well, yeah. Eventually, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you end up becoming.
So yeah, because of all the battles, Ravenbeak, the sneaky man that he is, awakens the DNA, and Samus becomes a Metroid.
Yeah, a Metroid plant, I'd like to call it. With her Metroid plant suit or whatever.
That's so cool.
It's so cool.
Oh my god.
It's so cool.
Okay, Nintendo, make a figure of that. Shut up and take my money. I want a figure of that version of Samus.
So, yeah, quite literally, Samus going forward is going to have that suit.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah. Oh, well, it reverts back at the end.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, but man, I wish she did though. Oh,
it's so. I like stuff like that for sure.
It looked very Kraid-esque to me.
Definitely.
With the sort of the green and then the reds and but I mean, okay, the art direction and the design of this game is amazing.
It is really, really nice. Coupled with the storyline that was created at this point. And I kind of like that they do some 2D art, like some actual hand-drawn art to sometimes show you the cutscenes and stuff like that. And then, yes, you get to the Mr. Beak in the end. And that was a hell of a battle. That was a crying battle. That was a hard battle. And then,
these are useless for the next week.
Yeah, and then you make your way out, you get into the ship, you revert back with the help of the old Chozo, who was brought back by an X-parasite, and then disintegrates.
And then the X-parasite reverts your suit.
Yeah, and that's what turns you back into normal and stuff like that. So, yeah, it takes us, and then Samus goes flying off, and then that's kind of it. And they have some nice cutscenes of what the, all the original games, and that's kind of it. And it's like, wow, okay, this is it.
I'm hoping that Prime 4 picks up from this and does something cool.
I wonder if it's a sequel or not. I don't know because it's called Prime and not 5 or 6. So it would, what I mean?
but the Prime series kind of shoehorned into weird places as
well.
But
It did.
I think at this point, how much more in middle stuff can they do?
I'm sure they're going to tell us all of that and stuff like that. But I kind of like the story of Metroid because it is so vague and they only give you a little bit.
Yeah.
But for us Metroid fans, it's enough.
It's exactly. For me, this was exactly enough.
It wasn't like blah blah blah. Everything is explained, everything's shown, and all of that. And there's some things in the cutscenes at the end that kind of show you what the Chozo race was like and all that. A little bit.
Again,
I like that.
Little tidbits that are delicious and not overfilling.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you guys think? Some of you who have finished the game and got to the end content, did you enjoy it? Was it living up to your expectations? Was it too hard? Was it too easy for you? Let us know.
If this game is too easy for you, I bow in reverence to your skills.
Oh my God, we go like this to you. Absolutely. Congratulations. Fantastic. It was crazy, but what an experience and completely worth the wait.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And what a short wait.
Yeah.
They announced it and then they were like, and it'll be
here it is. Here it is. We were talking about this. Like, how did they keep this game under wrap for so long? Because there's so much to it.
Nintendo are the kings of keeping.
Yeah, they are amazing at keeping secrets.
This game, as a matter of fact, gave me a '90s feel because of that fact that it was like announced and then here you go. So you know nothing about it. It's not like you saw the development. Nothing. I love it.
I know. Absolutely.
Thank you, Ninty.
Thank you so much for this game. Absolutely. We really enjoyed it. It's a really, really fun game. Highly recommended. So anyways, guys, until next time.